What's cooking, good looking? So now that my exams have ended, I have too much free time on my hands, so I just thought I would make this silly little video. And since no one will watch this, I'm just gonna take this off. So hi, if you haven't seen my face already somehow, which I've uploaded on at least 5-ish videos on this channel. But yeah, so why am I making this video? Well, about a year ago, I kind of wanted to do this on technically cubing, but I figured that it was an absolutely terrible idea because who would want to watch a video about pyramids and Taylor Swift, let alone both of them in the same video? And yeah, now that I have a second channel, I can do absolutely what I want, and no one will care because no one will watch this. Okay, the reason I'm ranking both of these together is because about the time that I made this idea, I really liked two things. Number one, I was maining Pyrrha back then, just for a few months, and number two, I got into Taylor Swift Speak Now, which, looking back at it, is a little bit weird because I don't like this album much. It's one of her worst, if I'm gonna be honest, but at least it's better than her most recent one, The Tortured Poets Department. Swifties don't cancel me. So, the start. Starting off with the Soon. I just dropped the Pyrrha, you did not see that. So this one, it's pretty short. No, it's actually quite long, thinking about it. For a Pyrrha L4E elk, it's somewhat long, and I find it very confusing because there's also a similar elk on Square One where it's kind of just the same thing, except that when I'm looking on a Square One, which I've made before Pyrrha, I trace it by the headlights going to the piece that corresponds, if that makes sense. But this one is different. You don't do it the headlights to the center. You have to move the center towards the headlights. So I don't like that. So this will be controversial, but C tier. Okay, I'll just move on to Taylor Swift. Sparks Fly. Okay, at first I didn't really like this song because I thought it was a little bit mid, but looking back at it, it's not bad. It's quite catchy. It's I see sparks fly wherever you. Yeah, so B tier. Not a bad one. Oh, this L4E case. This one I really like because it's how you identify it is you have one bar here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 moves, which is really quite short. I know a lot of people do a very weird out where they like sledge and then they do like 18 moves or something weird. But yeah, whenever I get it, it's probably the best LBL case. I'd say high A tier, maybe S. I'll change that for later. Okay, back to Taylor Swift. Speaking of back to December. That was an absolutely terrible trend, but I will take it. So back to December. I don't know, I'm a little bit divided about it. It's nice. It's got long sequences of chords and nice sequences that are a little bit catchy, but I find it a bit too repetitive for me, and I think it's about Harry Styles. No, I forgot. It was about some guy who I don't think I like very much, so also B tier. Next para case is a sledge. I will be honest, I don't really like sledges. I much prefer inserts and whatnot, so it is short, it's like 4 moves long, and whenever I get it in an Alpha case, I don't think it really impacts my time as much as it should, mainly because I'm bad at doing sledges, so I'll put it in A tier because I can't put it in B tier, that would be criminal, but it's worse than that L3E case. Okay, mine. I forgot this song, that's how bad it is. D tier. Okay, this L3E case. It's this one, where it kind of looks like a U-perm in this way, but it's pretty nice to finger trick. You can cancel into an R2, which is always nice to have. I find it confusing sometimes because when you have it just on one face, it's relatively easy to see, but the moment you have like AUF as well, this sort of thing, this is the same case as the one I showed you just now, by the way. It gets a little bit confusing, but I think it's okay once you get used to it, and AUF prediction is not bad. I would say B tier. Yeah. Okay. Dear John, if I'm not wrong, this one is about John Mayer, who is a pretty good musician. He's not bad at all. But the thing that kills it for me, I think this is her longest, no, this is not her longest song. My bad, she has a 10-minute thing, I forgot. This song is way too long for this album. It's almost 6 minutes long, which, and it's super slow as well. So slow and long is, it's not great. I have to put it in, I think I'll do C tier. It's not terrible, so I won't put it in D. Okay. Uh, whoops, this is, wait, why can't I say, oh, yeah, here we are. This is the back insert. I think so. So this one is good. Uh, yeah, it's all very nice finger tricks. I have to put it in S tier. It's also not that hard to recognize either. Okay, back to Taylor Swift. Speak Now. Honestly, for an album that's called Speak Now is not a good song. It's got a really weird premise about this girl who's supposedly Taylor Swift barging into a wedding, and it's like, you're not the kind of guy who would date this kind of girl, and it's just so teenagerish. It sounds like a teenage girl's dream. No offense to any girls out there. I bet you're amazing people. Okay, I'm gonna put it behind Mine because I now remember how Mine went, and I have to put it like here now because it's catchy. It's also a bit long, like many of the songs in the album, as in the phrasing is a bit long and it's like actually I don't know if that's right. Whatever. So yeah, C tier. Front insert, which is this one. I like this one a lot less than the back insert because you have to first few moves are fine, but you have to do this weird move here, which, I would very much prefer to do this than that, if that makes any sense. So I would say it's definitely worse than a Sledge, maybe even B tier. Yeah, why not? Oh, Enchanted, back to Taylor Swift. This one is honestly the song that got me into this album. It is very good. It's about Owl City, who I also really like. His old stuff at least. And yeah, it's sort of someone gave this really good analogy of it being that it describes the feeling of having a crush very well. Not that I've had a crush or anything, but I can see how that works. So it's S tier. It's way better than front insert for sure. Oh wait, I think I missed out one. The Story of Us. Okay, we'll just move on to two flip then. Two flip when it's in the front. This one is kind of bad. There's a bunch of ways that people can do it. I've seen it's basically a combination of back insert and a sledge, which on its own don't sound too bad. But when you combine a sledge with inserts, it gets a little bit messy, and I tend to lock up a lot on two flips. So I'd rank it worse than a soon. Is it better? Okay, this is weird. Is it better or worse than Mine and Dear John? Let me think. Okay, I'll put it in between because Mine is catchy and Two Flip is not spammy. I hope that made sense. Okay, back to Taylor Swift. The Story of Us. This one is this one I find it's quite similar to Mine. I always mix up the two of them. And the only lyric I remember is "The story of us seems a lot like a tragedy now. Next chapter, da-na-na-na-na," and it's a bunch of rock stuff. So it's it's a very generic song for Taylor Swift, I have to say, which don't cancel me, it's like a lot of her songs. It's not bad. I think it's about moving on after a breakup, which I don't really like breakup songs, I have to say. They're a bit sad and a bit angsty, so it's better than Mine, I have to say. Better than Back to December, worse than Sparks Fly. Yes. Okay, two flip, but it's on the side. So this one includes the left and the right side. I It's not a bad album. It's a lot better than two flip from this angle, mainly because there's two different ways you can do it. The first one is where you do a sledge and then you just insert that, which is very similar to the first one. But I recently found a much better out where you can do like that. And this one just look at that. Look at how spammy that is. It's amazing. So yeah, I like it a lot more now. It's a bit hard to execute at times, and sometimes I confuse myself between both of them. So I would put it, I'd say it's worse than a front insert. Maybe, yeah, I think that's good. Okay, mean. I really, really don't like this one. This one's absolutely terrible. It just, okay, the main reason I don't really like this album as much as I used to is because many of the songs just scream teen angst, which makes sense because Taylor Swift was in fact 18 years old when she made this. I'm 16 now, so man, I have a lot of catching up to do if I want to beat Taylor Swift. But it's just like someday I'll be living in a big old city and all you're ever gonna be is mean. Why you gotta be so mean? That is an actual lyric. I am not kidding. It is terrible. The melody is fine, it's generic and somewhat catchy and whatnot, but yeah, I don't like mean. It's just teenagerish, which is my main critique for this album. Oh, I love this album. Fall flip. So this one is really easy to do. You just insert left, insert right, insert left, insert right. Wait, I did it wrong. How could I mess up a fall flip? Shoot. I promise I'm better than this. Okay. Okay, I did mess it up now. I like it because it's quite spammy. You can TPS a lot with it. I think I have like an 8.7 TPS 2-loop solve with rotation with fall flip, which, yes, it sounds a bit weird, but I quite like it. I have to say, would I rank it in S tier? Probably not, because that'd be weird, but it's like better than average. Yeah, I'd say it's better than a front insert. It's slower than a front insert, yes, but I have a lot more fun with it. Okay, Never Grow Up. Hang on, did I move anything? Okay, good. Never Grow Up is it's one of those slow songs in this album, which uh it's one of the better slow songs in this album, I've gotta say. It's like Never Grow Up, just stay this little, but I think it's about youthful innocence. Swifties Don't Cancel Me. I think that's what it's about, which is, not a bad topic to talk about. It's way better than Mean, I have to say. Is it better than Speak Now? Yes, way better. I would rank it. It's quite similar to Dear John, so I think it's worse than Two Flip though, because I prefer to lock up on a spammy out rather than have to listen to it. That was a weird analogy. My apologies. Okay, this one is sus. No, that's actually what it's called. I don't mean a Gen Alpha sort of a thing, but because it's sledge, you prime sledge, so sus. If you notate it that way. Oh, fourth. Yeah, so it's just this. You get bars all around. You have this flip edge. You just do S. You prime S. It's not bad. I do lock up on it sometimes. Less so than two flip, so it's better than two flip for sure. So yeah, I'd say it's about there. Is it better than mine though? Oh yeah, it's way better than mine, I've gotta say. Okay, great. Last Kiss. Uh, as cringy as it sounds, I think it's cringy. That made absolutely no sense. Ignore what I just said. That's the reason I only have one fan, which is that over there. Okay, that was a terrible joke. Moving on. Last Kiss is a really slow song as well, and it's melodically nice. One of the better melodies for the slow songs in this album, but it's not very memorable. I don't think I remember the tune at all. It's probably better than these two. So yes. Man, just looking at this right now, Taylor Swift is not doing very well. She's in B, C, D tier and it's only one S tier. It's okay. There'll be more S's for her in the future. Okay, what is this one? I think this one is Polish Flip. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I remember how you recognize this by one bar over here, no bars anywhere else, one flips piece. Move the bar to the side and just left insert, right insert. One left, one front, one back insert. So yeah, it's like 6 moves long, I think. It's really, really spammy. It does involve one of these moves, which are a bit meh, but it flows really nicely in the algorithm, so I would put it here, like top of A tier. I gotta say, I prefer it over that LL case. Okay, better than Revenge. This one is not bad. It's way better than average for this album. It's got teen angst, yes, which I don't really like, and it's about like he should keep in mind that I do better than revenge. Then it's got a bunch of metal, heavy metal rock stuff. It's good. I'd say it's not better than Sparks Fly, The Story of Us, Back to December. Uh, I would rank it. Actually, no. Let me do some rearranging. Sparks Fly is better than a front insert. It's not better than Fall Flip. The Story of Us is, yeah, it's Back to December and The Story of Us belong here. Better than Revenge is worse than a front insert, but less bad than that case. Yeah, I think that makes sense. No, I just shifted over there. Okay, next Pyrrha case. This one appears to be, oh, this one is, I forget what people call it, but I like to call it Gucci just because it's so nice to execute. You just right insert, left insert, and AUF it's really easy to do because it's literally just the piece on the front. So yeah, you can tell, you can one look solves with that really easily. So I would say it's one of the best L4Es. Actually, maybe the best L4E. Is it better than Enchanted though? Let me think. No, I think I like the feeling of a really nice 5 minute song over a nice Alpha. That was a weird comparison metaphor. English literary device. Okay, Haunted. Haunted is it's fine. I feel like it's quite similar to Better Than Revenge in that aspect, but it's worse than Better Than Revenge because it's I don't like the melody. I think a lot of people like it, but I don't know, something about it is not very pleasant to me. I'd say it's about here, but it's still better than that L4E case. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna do two L4E cases at a time now until because there's only two songs left. This one is called Super Sledge, if I'm not wrong. It's when you have a big block and then you have this thing over here. This one I also really like a lot because you can tell that the front face is gonna be the color of this big block over here. And yeah, it's really easy to one look and solve. It's you don't lock up that easily. Probably my second favorite Alpha case for sure. This one is I don't know what people call it. Bad Nikki and Bad Sochi or something weird like that. So it's just this case. This one is a bit harder to predict the AUF because how I do it is I have to move the left hand first, so I know it's gonna be opposite to that. So it's gonna be blue in the front, and yeah. This one is it's quite spammy, but I just lock up on it quite a bit, so I'd say it's about an average alpha case. So looking at that, I would say it's better than Haunted, but worse than Better Than Revenge. Yes. Okay, okay, Long Live. This is one of the songs that I really like in this album. It's about nostalgia and being a teenager, and like I remember this moment in the back of my mind, something of shaking hands at crowd and stands go wild. And they played it in the Eras Tour post-credit scene, which I think was very appropriate for it. So definitely S tier for me. The question is where? Okay, this is I would say it's worse than the Gucci Alpha just because I prefer to get that rather than listen to Long Live. Actually, maybe it might be better. I feel like they're about the same. You know, I'll just put it worse than the Gucci Alpha, but yeah. Okay, this Alpha case, I gotta say, I don't really like it. It's yeah, it's not wait, it's not that case. Yeah, it's this case where you have a block and you have this thing that's facing opposite. How you would do it is in back insert and then sledge, which doesn't really flow that nicely for me. There is a an alternate out that I know of, which is basically 3/4 of a full flip. But I find that that only works when there's a big bar in the front that's all of the same color because AUF prediction's a lot easier. So it's a lot worse than average. I would prefer it. Uh, it's worse than soon for sure though. So I think that works. Okay, what is this one? This one has the inverse of that case that I talked about just now, where you have this piece facing here and you have this bar. The AUF prediction is not bad. It's just the color of this block, which would be about the same for the other one. And this one's just the opposite. So it's a sledge, U or a U prime, then you have an insert, which is okay. I find it's about the same. I kind of prefer it somewhat over that case, so still worse than a soon, I have to say. You know what? I'll just go and do this L4E case while I'm at it. That one is okay. This one is one of those no bar cases where you have a flipped edge in the back, so you have to insert in the front. This one's probably the best out of all the flipped edge cases, mainly because wait, don't tell me I forgot how to do it. Okay, I didn't forget how to do it. This one's probably the best because in the algorithm, all the U's are going in one direction, boy band reference, and the AUF is really easy to predict. It's just the front color in the beginning. So I'd say it's better than its recognition is pretty hard for me though, so I'd say it's worse than sus. Okay, now Innocent. Innocent is fine. It's also one of those slow songs in the album which I don't really like, but the melody ends on a really weird note at the end of the chorus. It finds that it's somewhat unsettled, it's not complete, so it's worse than Sparks Fly. Better than Revenge? Yeah, I'd say it's in between these two cases. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move Sparks Fly up to A tier because it's really not a bad song at all. It's better than a Sledgehammer. Okay, so we got two more L4E cases. These both are really quite bad. I would never wish these on my worst enemy. Okay, this first one is fine, which is how I recognize it is I have a flipped edge in the front when the sticker is facing towards me. So how I execute it is I insert the flipped edge, do a U, and then I insert the V piece. So that one I would say is it's worse than Dear John, I gotta say. So I think low C tier. This one is easily the worst L4E in my opinion. This one you have to the finger tricks for it are really weird, where you have that, and then you have to do that, and then just that right afterward, and it's super locky. And the AU prediction is also not nice. How I predict it is, I'm moving it on the right in this case, so it's gonna be opposite, so there's gonna be red in front at the end, which it is. Is it? I don't think it's worse than these two songs though. Speak Now is fine. I'd say, yeah, it's better than Me. All right, and that's my tier list. Looking at this, I think L4E beats out Taylor Swift, which is a really weird statement to say, but yeah, that's the objective truth, and no one can change it. I'm just kidding. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you're a Pyrrha person or a Taylor Swift person, do let me know. And yeah, this was quite a fun video to make, and I don't think I'll see you next time. I'll see you technically cubing when I decide to post again or something. All right, bye bye for the one person watching.